Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is having a beautiful morning. Today we're gonna deep dive into a topic that I've been wanting to touch for quite a while now, and it's the designer trends that I'm going to be absolutely skipping in 2025. Or let's just say that these are trends that I personally don't think are going to age well. So these are things that we've been seeing all over social media. I think some of them are gonna ruffle some feathers, so I want to give a little disclaimer before I start into the video. Fashion is so personal. If you love any of the trends that I'm gonna be talking about today, completely ignore me. This is just my opinion. At the end of the day, I also do certain things that are definitely considered not fashionable at all, and seriously, that's literally the point of fashion, of individuality and you doing you. If it makes you feel happy, if it makes you feel confident, I think you should stick to your thing. With that said, a lot of these trends are things that I've been seeing a lot online, especially on TikTok, but also on runways, on the streets, on Instagram. And I do love keeping up with fashion, but I also believe in shopping intentionally and being faithful to my own style. So yeah, I'm usually one of the last ones to jump into trends. If there is this hot new bag or new accessory, even if I like it, I'm gonna wait for a little bit before I put my money on it, because I just want to make sure that I am not being impulsive just because I'm getting drawn into it because of how trendy it is and how much I'm seeing it. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna start with the first trend. I think it might be the most controversial one, because even people that I know that I never thought that were going to be into this are into it. So we're gonna talk about Labubus, but a bit more specifically, Labubus on luxury bags. I do want to say that the whole idea about bag charms in general, I love it. It's grown into me quite a lot, to the point that I am really going into the bag charm thing and adding bag charms to my bags. This is the bag that I'm wearing today, and I'm finally starting to use my Rodeos. I was someone that preferred my bags quite plain, but I'm really loving the fact that we're starting to put things into our bags. I think it's just an amazing way to make things ours and add a little bit more of your personal style into it. And honestly, bag charms are not even a trend. They've always been here, but I'm kind of feeling that we're crossing a line. I saw the labubu trend start slowly on TikTok. I think this started with Lisa from Blackpink, that she mentioned that she was collecting them and she was putting them on her bags. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the origin of the trend in general, and I kinda get it. I found this Winnie the Pooh Labubus from Miniso that I think they're so cute. I am not going to put those in my bags, first of all because they're massive, second of all because I think it's a bit much. The one bag that I would put it on is probably my travel bag, like this big bag that I'm not walking around with it every single day. And again, I do like bag charms. I see the Labubus and they're kind of scary. I just do not see the appeal on them. I don't think they're cute. And putting them on a luxury bag, I've been seeing them so much on Birkins, on Kellys, on classic flaps. I don't know if it's just me, but I just think that we're gonna look back and think, what are we doing? Feels like putting croc charms on Manolos, kind of. And I do get the point. It's charming, it's playful, it's really nostalgic. I've been enjoying a lot the Winnie the Pooh Labubus, and I don't see anything wrong with enjoying that, on getting them, on unboxing them. But lately it's crossing the line of too much. I've seen some people put 3 to 4 in one bag, and I've actually seen this one before, and I didn't like the ending. Labubus and like this type of bag charms are nothing new. Going back to 2015, Fendi released these things that were called bag bugs. The Fendi bag bug. They were fluffy, they were kind of cute, they were massive, and you would put them on your bags. They were super expensive, and you would just put it on your bags. You would use them as a keychain, and they were the thing. They were the jam. I think that one was Kylie Jenner that started that trend. The whole trend lasted like 2 years, and then you would not see them again. For so long, I've not seen a single person out and about with the Fendi bag bugs, even though they were so popular, so hard to find. Another one that I can throw in is the mustache thing. I don't know if everyone will remember, but we used to put mustaches on everything. There were necklaces, t-shirts, bag charms. Looking back, I don't even understand what we were doing, and I think the Labubu thing is going to be the same thing. I think in 5 years, we're gonna look back and we're just gonna think, interesting choice. I don't know what we were thinking. But again, if it makes you happy right now, I think it's all that matters. If it makes your day a little bit brighter with everything that is going on, put a labubu on your bag, even 10 if you want. That's just the point of life. Let's just try to be happy and enjoy things. But yeah, in a trend fashion perspective, I don't think it's going to last very long, but that's just my 2 cents. Number 2 is Vanity Pochettes slash toiletry bags. And by this one, I don't mean using actual toiletries as bag. I'm also not talking about the elegant, streamlined bags like the Savette Symmetry Pochette. I am talking about the literally cosmetic pouches, toiletry bags from brands that we used to DIY kind of, but brands realized that we were doing this. So then they just added a strap to the bag and they doubled the price on it. And this has been a trend for quite a while. Dior has one, Chanel has one, Louis Vuitton, pretty much every single brand has come out with their version of the toiletry cosmetic bag. And the vibe is basically bulky, square-ish. They usually have a handle and a crossbody strap. And I think this all started because brands saw an opportunity. I have the Toiletry 26 from Louis Vuitton, and you can buy an organizer and attach a chain to it and make it a bag or just use it as a clutch. I saw a ton of people doing it also to Denise BB. This is something that I was never really inclined to do because Denise BB is really bulky and just adding a chain to it, it's just not practical. You open the bag, everything is going to spill. And for example, with the Louis Vuitton toiletries, they have a friendlier price point compared to the bags in general. So I don't think they were really happy seeing that a lot of people were getting these toiletries and just DIYing them into bags. So they took the matter into their own hands. They made it a bag themselves, but with, of course, a higher price point. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Dior more specifically are the ones that come into mind with literally no changes to these cosmetic bags. They just added a chain to it. Showing you a few examples from Louis Vuitton, and these bags are not practical at all, especially the Vanity PM, and I'm someone that who almost fell for it because I do love Denise BB so much. But these bags, you open them and literally the bag opens completely, like it's just not practical. These bags are meant to hold your cosmetics, your skincare, and to just be sitting down there. I understand the trend and I understand that they saw the opportunity to sell them as bags, but they did not change much on the bag. They just added a strap, and now the price is way higher than if you actually get the regular cosmetic bag and just add the strap yourself. Then on the other hand, the cosmetic bag aesthetic started to create this style of bag that you're gonna be able to see pretty much by any brand. I think part of why these bags became so popular is because they do tap into that quiet luxury trend. They're really minimal bags. They have a top handle, they're really slick lines, just a zipper. They give this vintage, ladylike, almost like taking the little bag to the garden vibe. And they're really cute bags. I've been tempted by many, but I've held on from them because they just feel kind of incomplete. If I'm going to spend money on a bag, I want it to be functional. I want it to be versatile. I want it to be timeless. And I don't think these vanity style bags are gonna be that. Also, as a side note, most of these bags, you're not gonna even be able to find them under the bag section of these luxury houses. They tend to fall on the small leather goods section, and I think that kind of says a lot. So yeah, this is a trend that I'm gonna be passing. I think they're really cute, but I don't feel like they're functional enough for me. Trend number 3 is going to be ballet sneakers, and this is something that I have not seen in person, but I've seen it a lot on social media, and I love ballerinas. They are my most used shoe for sure, and I also really love the Miu Miu ones that they released, that they resemble actual ballet shoes even more. Like, I do love the vibe, I love the aesthetic, but the sneaker ballet trend, that one is going to have to be a no for me. It reminds me so much to the sneakers with heels, with wedges. I don't know how to explain them. I used to have them for sure, and now I look back on them and I just don't know what we were thinking. I think it was around 2010. We didn't want to commit to sneakers, and we also didn't want to commit to boots with heels, so we ended up mixing them both, and I still see them from time to time, especially from Isabel Marant. Fashion is circular, things come and go for sure, but this one I just know that it's not going to last, and we're gonna look back on it same as the sneaker boot trend. And I do get the appeal. It's very nostalgic and it has its edgy style. Like, every single brand has releasing them. Miu Miu, the Attico, even Hermes released a pair, and that's usually how you know that it's really gone mainstream. When a luxury fashion house like Hermes that mainly does very classic, very quiet and strong pieces that are gonna stand the test of time. Sometimes they do dive into trends. I was very surprised when I saw the Hermes ones, and absolutely they look cool in editorials, street style photo shoots. I see the appeal and I see how they're cool and edgy, but when it comes to real life, I'm just not fully convinced. I think we're gonna look back on this one the same that we do right now to the Balenciaga Triple S sneakers. They really went strong, and the same that they came, they left, and they were definitely a statement. So I'm going to be sitting this one out. I'm gonna stick to the classic ballerinas, also the classic sneakers. I love them both, but I would not mix them. Now we're going into our worst offender of this video. This one, I'm not sorry, I don't get it. And it's the Balenciaga's 3D molded zero shoes. So they're kind of basically plastic soles that grip onto your toe and it looks like you're barefoot. I haven't seen anyone wearing these ones, but I've seen them a lot on social media, especially being talked about on social media. And I was actually surprised by the comments because at first I thought that it had to be a joke. And some people are calling them revolutionary and so cool. And I think this is Balenciaga's thing for sure. However, I don't see a way that you're gonna find me wearing this out and about. This looks out of a sci-fi alien footwear. I don't know who would buy these ones, honestly. Balenciaga claims that these are footwear in their purest form, which I feel like they took a little bit too literal. It's basically just a heel cup and a strap on your toe, which gives zero support and leaves the rest of your foot naked. It's made of a single piece of Eva foam, which is basically the same thing that Crocs are made of, which does not make it any better. And I am all in for innovation, but charging 600 euros or more for this, I think that's insane. Especially when we're doing it for luxury fashion and just something that is supposed to be stylish. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Now, neon is making a scary comeback, and this one does hit home because I now cannot stand neon at all. But I would say that on my teenage years, especially when I was starting to go partying, you would definitely find me with some neon tops out there, and now when I look back on them, they're just not flattering. I cannot stand them anymore. And you can see this new Louis Vuitton collection. It's called the Monogram Glow. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Monogram bags with neon colors. It's full-on glow-in-the-dark monogram canvas. So it's the same classic bag styles, but they just changed the color of the monogram. There's bags, toiletries, t-shirts, we have them all. I get that it's supposed to feel futuristic and like an interesting take on classic items, but I just feel like this one is not going to age well. Unless you're very much into color, especially bright colors, then by all means go for it. I just feel this strong sense that we're just going back to trends of the early 2010, 2012, 2015, and this always happens, but I am just really scared that we're gonna bring the owl necklaces. Who knows, maybe we're also gonna go back to the yellow t-shirts. I saw this one on the runway. I don't know how trendy it's going to be, but I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's not practical at all. And it's going to be the Ferragamo twin belt bags. I understand that they're a statement, but just objectively thinking about it, they are these massive double pouches that you're supposed to be walking around with. They made their debut for Ferragamo's fall 2025 collection, which is under Maximilian Davis. So basically they're designed to be worn around the waist, attached with a belt. These are for sure pieces that are more suitable only for the runway than real life. I just cannot see anyone walking on the street with these massive pouches unless you're like into construction. Also, if you fill them up, they just have to be so heavy. Like there's no reason for them to be this size. And I understand that fashion is supposed to give a statement, but at some point I think you cross the line into something that is completely unusable. And what's interesting is that Ferragamo is not the only one that is exploring this style. Prada, Miu Miu, Totem, each of them introduced belt bags into their collections. However, they were a little bit more wearable for sure. They incline more into modular and being able to personalize them rather than just two massive pouches. But yeah, basically belt bags are doing a comeback. That is also something that I did not expect. I do remember really loving the Louis Vuitton bum bag. I think that bag was so cute, and I think if it's done correctly, it's a good one. However, these ones are gonna be a no for me. This one I do see more, and it's Tabi Shoes. You know, the ones with the split toe. They look kind of like ninja shoes in my opinion. And I just personally like my toes touching each other inside a closed shoe. And I do understand the appeal. They're very bold shoes. They're different. They have this sort of underground Parisian artsy vibe to them. If I see someone wearing Tabi shoes, I immediately think that they're super artsy, that they're quite fashionable, and they probably know a lot of philosophy, and that they're definitely into niche designers that are not that known. But let's be honest, the shoes are just not for everyone, and they're definitely not for me. I've seen the boots, the flats, even the loafers, and I'm sorry, I just don't like them. I am not that cool. Also, you need special socks for them. I also don't see them lasting in trend very long. But again, I think the people that are into this style, they don't really follow trends. If they find them cool and if they like them, they definitely have a very distinctive and personal style, which is something that I appreciate. So that's the thing about fashion and trends. Like, I appreciate a lot the people that can pull these ones off. I just know that I am not one of them. So these are the trends that I will be skipping on this year. And again, you need to do you. Something that I keep thinking back on, for example, a trend that I was very into 2021, 2022 were branded bracelets. So think of the Hermes Click Clack, the Dior friendship bracelets. Everyone loved them, including me. I absolutely wanted a Dior friendship bracelet, and I held off because I just felt like it was not the smartest place to put my money into. And now I'm kind of grateful that I never spent my money on them because they were not my style. They were just trendy, and you don't really see people wearing them. And that's the thing, if you don't stick to what's true to your style and you just jump from trend to trend, you end up spending money, especially when it comes to luxury items, that maybe it's going to be a waste. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you're not done watching, I'm gonna leave you two right here in case you want to check them out. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Bye.